I am Indian origin, but now I am a foreign citizen. I have zero assets in India. I have zero desire to come to India. I did find myself an Indian wife. She fought, came back to India, has filed false cases on me. Now the police and the courts are sending me summons. Do I really benefit by going to India and attending to these cases? Do I really want to do that? I have no connection to India. Might as well just let it go and to, you know, sever all my ties with this country. This is a discussion that I have with a lot of Indian origin, foreign citizen, husband clients. And I tell them that if you're in this situation where there's not a lot of incentive for you to go and fight off this case in India, one thing you have to be careful about is if you let this go, you will never ever be able to set foot in the country of India, because a lookout circular will not immediately, but eventually in a coming few months, maybe a year or so, will be issued against you, if not in the wife's criminal case, in the wife's maintenance or domestic violence case, which she has filed against you, in which, because you did not appear, the court will pass ex parte, that is, orders in your absence. And then for enforcement, execution of those orders, courts and the police can issue lookout circulars. The moment you land at any airport in the country, immigration will stop you, will restrain you. The police will then come, arrest you, and then either have you investigated for the criminal case or take you before the judge who has passed the maintenance orders. What I suggest is, if you're in this situation, and I suggest this to Indian origin, foreign citizen, husband clients, that at the very least you should, without coming to India, hire lawyers in India to fight out your case and not become a pariah, because one, you've got ties, perhaps parents, family members. Second is, India is one of the most fastest growing economies in the world, and you're comfortable with the Indian ecosystem. You may want to hold assets, you may want to invest in the future, and you do not want to cut off access to this country just because there was a small issue in the law. It's like saying I had a small itching in my arm, so I took an axe and cut off the whole arm. I suggest to these husbands that you should file your quashing petition in the criminal case. You should put up a strong defense in the domestic violence and the maintenance cases filed by your wife against you. And if it comes to that, you can choose to, in the future, if called to come before the police or the court, you can say, all right, I'm not coming. But at least hire lawyers, fight it out, because in the absence, right now, you could have a good case of quashing. I mean, quashings are not very successful, to be honest, but at least you give it a shot. There's no harm apart from obviously the legal fees that you pay, but apart from that, there's no harm. We're not saying come down to India. Don't. But at least try to fight it out. Even in the maintenance cases, wife usually as a legal strategy will say, my husband earns 50 lakh rupees a month and I want maintenance of 10 lakh rupees a month. Now you in reality are earning maybe 5 lakhs a month. By purchase power parity, it would anyways be reduced even further. And after several months or a year or two of litigation, the wife could maybe get an interim maintenance order of maybe 50,000 or 1 lakh. But the problem is, if you do not appear in the court at all because you think, I don't want to fight and what can she do? Now the court says we have no option but to presume what the wife is saying is true, that he earns 50 lakhs a month and that she is asking for 10 lakhs seems to be a reasonable amount if he earns 50 lakhs a month. And then all of a sudden you're hit with an order of 10 lakh rupees a month as maintenance. And then it just piles up. And in the future, if there's any reason, I'll give you an example. I have this client who consulted me many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, said 2014 or 15, my wife filed a case against me. I immediately went back to Canada. Now I'm a Canadian citizen. Now my parents are facing this case. They're going to courts again and again. They anyways don't like me and they berate me every time I have a conversation with them. I have a, 6-7-year-old son. I can't meet him. And what do? My parents are old. I want to visit them. Amish ji, somehow, whatever, please, get me. And I said, there's nothing I can do now. Even several years, the court system says, why do we give any protection, any benefit to someone who's absconded from the system for several years? You should have appeared. You should have not appeared, at least through your lawyer, appeared for file your quashing, etc., etc. And a lot of times, we get protection orders from the court, anticipatory bail, quashing, etc. The husband comes down, takes a quick flight, goes back after 2 days, repeats the process maybe 3 or 4 times and is good to go. Then why this whole, I will never come, and then you cut off your access, and then you, in the future, 4, 5, 7 years down the line, you realize things are not so complicated. I could have gotten out of this mess far simpler way.